Hey everybody, it's TorontoUnicorn. So this is my big Bukkake night story, and oh my goodness, was it ever a fucking night. It was the night I've always wanted to see up close and personal. And the first time I saw Bukkake night, one of the vlogs that I did, I remember commenting that because I was in the spectator area, I was only able to see the men's bodies around people, and so I saw just like wiggly bums and stuff, right? And I was like, well, that's not really the Bukkake experience I was looking for. But this time I had a submissive on a leash, Shiloh Valentine, and she was eager to be up there on stage as soon as the broadcast was off, because they do a virtual broadcast for a little bit first. And then they turn off those cameras, and then everybody's free to like enjoy the club the normal way. And so she was like, we were like, where do you know where you're going? And she's like, yep. I'm like, are you ready to go as soon as they say? And she's like, yep. Like we were so excited. And so basically we had these matching outfits on, which I have the little clip of here. And we wore these, except that she had something even sexier underneath, but I don't know if I'm really allowed to show that on YouTube, so you'll just have to use your imagination. And then basically I had her on a collar and leash, and I instructed her how to proceed. And it was the most glorious thing for me, because I like to call her my sexual Barbie doll, because in a way it's like I don't have to use my mouth, because I can't, like, in a way I couldn't actually participate in something like this. It wouldn't be something that would fulfill any of my like fantasy goals. And so for me, I want to see it though. Like, I would love to see it. I just don't want to be it, right? And so it was really an opportunity to have a woman on a leash who is happy to be there, eager to be my submissive for the night. And I was like, you know what I kept saying to her all night? I was like, make all cocks feel welcome. Every time a guy would be like kind of hovering nearby, I'm like, make all cocks feel welcome, so that she would know to be like inviting and friendly, because every guy needs a girl who's smiling at them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I was that kind of dom. I was like, be nice to them. Make sure, did you ask them if they want their cum in your mouth? Like literally like feeding her to the men. Some men were like, can I fuck her? Can I fuck you? And she's like, yeah. Now this is where I have to be careful, because this is YouTube, and I have to pause and realize that I'm on YouTube. If you want to hear the dirtier details, you're gonna have to come to my OnlyFans. That is just where the shit is right now. Always TorontoUnicorn.com will have links to this kind of stuff. But basically, I'm gonna summarize the sex part, and then that's the extra part you'll have to find on my fan page. But this part I'll finish the story with. So she did her job. She made every man very happy. Every guy was smiling when they walked away. I remember some of the guys were like, oh my God, she's so hot. Like, they were so happy. And one of them asked if they could call her a slut, and she said yes. And he loved it, because it turned him on to call her that, and to pull her hair and stuff. And I was like, it was just like, it was awesome. And then at some points I remember being like talking to the gentleman and saying, you know, don't you know, feel free to like, you know, slap her ass and like touch her juicy body, because they were just standing around with their D's out, hoping for the experience of a mouth, right? And I'm like, well, can you not like finger her maybe or something? Like, come on, like there's lots to do here, right? And so once I gave some encouragement, men like were more, you know, inspired to do so, and that was good, because that was more the experience. She wants all those hands on her body. She wants to feel ravaged by a bunch of men. Of course she does. That was why we were there. So I felt that as my role as like a dominant, a female dominant, I think I was well suited for the role, because I had no qualms about looking at anybody and requesting something from them if I thought it was something that could just be verbalized, because maybe people didn't know. And I noticed that as soon as I did mention to some of them that they could touch her body and stuff, they were like, oh, and they're like feeling her and like enjoying it. And I was like, of course you can touch her body. Women want you to touch our bodies when we're fucking you and sucking you off. Just, you know what I'm saying? Maybe even our hair a lot, you know, it just feels nice. So I have a video on that, I think. I remember at one point the visual I had as I was sitting down. So I was standing for the most part, and then there was a lovely bench. So I would sit down and have my little peach virgin cocktail while she was doing all the work in front of me. Like front row seat, potentially in a bit of a spray radius. Took a risk. Her boyfriend was beside me with pride beaming the whole time, just making sure she was okay also, but also once in a while he'd like intervene and like put his, you know, D in the ring and you know, make sure she knew who, you know, where he was and stuff like that. And so it was really fun. It was really hot. And then, oh, it was just really hot. And at one point, R joined the situation and was able to get up close and even assist with like what Jala Valentine was doing by like pushing her head down too. Because I was also doing that. I was whenever she was sucking D and the guy and I noticed she was only going like this much in. I was like, no, all the way. And so I would put her head down, and the guy, I remember the guy, I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? And it was so hot though. And at one point, one of the guys, the guy who actually liked calling her slut, he actually thanked me and said I did a good job as he walked away. And I was like, wow, that's really nice to hear. So anyways, she did a good job. I remember the one visual I had was her lying on her back with her legs like kind of in the air. And she had some stuff on her face and like on her chest and her tie. She was, the smile in her, on her face, the happiness of her soul in that moment, it was so beautiful to see. And I saw that in another participant there too. One of the staff members was participating in the event, and it was the glow was from the inside out. The way they smiled was different than how they smile normally, and it was totally the right path to go down, because everybody deserves to smile like that. Just find out what makes you smile like that and proceed. You know what I'm saying? So the one thing I will have to say about this event that I did think is different is that the girls at Bukkake event, during the event and even after, are much more indiscriminate, even in sex. And I think DTF, you still have some level of like attraction needed for the most part, not always. Sometimes it's really much like a train or whatever. But I think with Bukkake, if you really want to get your most high success rate potential for a night to get your D in something, whether it's a mouth or not or something else, Bukkake night over DTF in my opinion. So I learned that. And it was fun because I had already slept with him at my house. So like I didn't have sex with him at the club, but it was so fulfilling to watch her fulfill this role that makes her happy. I got to be a voyeur and a dominant. And I was like, I was the director of a scene. I've always, when I'm a voyeur, sometimes I'm like, I'm a backseat driver in sex sometimes. If I'm at Oasis, sometimes I'm like, can you like put it in her ass? Like, well, I've always wanted to kind of be a bit of a director sometimes in a scene, and to be able to have Jala Valentine as my date and to do that was a joy and a major bucket list thing I didn't even know I had, which is even the coolest part of this lifestyle, is realizing your bucket is fucking endless. You can have a bucket list that's endless and keep knocking shit off. So it was a wonderful night. If you want to see the spectacle of women and men, I saw a man down there, somebody who looked like they identified as a male, with their mouths open, ready for anybody. It was like almost like a gas station where you could just like come and like fill up, like you could just go into an open mouth. That's what it felt like. Now people can always say no or whatever, consent's key, but I didn't see anybody say no. I'm just saying. So I also ran into a fan in the locker room, and it was interesting because I was in a zone. I was kind of in that dominant zone, and I had a girl on a leash. And so normally I would be like more conversational with somebody instead of sexual, but I was like, would you like to come and visit my friend for Bukkake? Like I was literally like, hey fan, do you want to come and put your dick in my friend's mouth? Like it was kind of probably intense for him, but he ended up doing it. So I guess it wasn't that intense, but in a way I thought at first I might have like been a little too strong, maybe because it was his first Bukkake night. And I asked him what videos he saw of mine, and it was the Bukkake videos. So it goes to show that people are out there looking for, you know, what is other people's experience of this thing? What can I expect? And so that's what I hope my channel offers people, is a little glimpse into the world, at least from a single girl perspective and what I've seen, so that you can find yourself here and realize it's not as scary as it seems. I promise. Just don't come on a Tuesday at Oasis or a special kink night and you'll be fine, because those things for a first timer can just be unrealistic expectations of a sex club, first of all, because if you come that night and even enjoy it, the rest of the nights are going to seem a little more bland. I just think it's more, you should come in at a normal night and then do the extremer nights later, you know? So check the schedule, okay? That's my story. If you want the rest of the details and a little bit more of more revealing outfit, I would say, just because I gotta keep it spicy, come to my fan page. My link is on my website, TorontoUnicorn.com, as well as in my bio. So come there, I've got some more to say.